Hey y'all, it's Angel, your best friend who happens to be a therapist. I still can't believe they talked me into doing a podcast, but here I am and here we go. I'm not gonna lie to you, we gonna talk about everything. Nothing's off limits, the good, bad, and the ugly. So put your seatbelt on and enjoy the ride. Hello, friends. I'm back. I took a little bit of a weedy little break because I got sick, but I'm back.
Yeah.
And I'm back with, by popular demand, my husband, my ace boom coon,
Yeah.
Miguel.
Okay. What's up, everybody?
He's back. So today, we really do get a lot of requests. You have I think your fan base is bigger than mine.
Wow, that's
and
crazy.
And this is my shit. But you know.
I don't have fans, but we just all think we on the same plane. I'm sure whoever's rocking with me, I guess. Go ahead.
All right. Well, today we're talking about parenting.
Yeah.
I say co-parenting, but you said
Well, go ahead.
Co-parenting is not the same as being married and parenting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I just thought co-parenting was, people that were in a relationship but are no longer, and then you both are co-parenting. Whereas in marriage, you married and you just married and taking care of kids. No code to it. It's just a marriage.
Well, the co is just identifies a shared venture, a shared task. Like we are parenting together, like as co-pilots, so to speak.
Okay, I get.
So we are technically co-parents.
Technically, but I think. So, what do you call people that's not married?
Co-parenting.
Okay, so you gotta differentiate between the two, right?
No, you don't, because let me tell you why.
It's different.
So co-parenting, the list, depending on who it is different. So if you are a single mother, right, or a single father, then you're co-parenting, and you're married, and you have a different biological, other parent, your co-parenting list is going to be the two biological parents and then the step parents. Some people include their godparents.
I got all
depending
that.
on how involved you are in the parenting process.
It has to be some type of terminology that separates the two.
We'll make up one, boo. Go ahead and make one up.
Shit, I don't know. I just know it need to be one.
Or you just
life. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like it should be something. I thought co-parenting and marriage were the different terms though all this time.
No, you know how many people are married and they have kids, but they still feel like single parents because one of the spouses is just not involved. So what would that be called? You ain't just
dysfunctional.
Married.
That's a whole nother term.
Yes, that's dysfunctional, but
there you go. They all have their own terms. Don't try to marry the two. Pun intended.
I'm not doing this with you.
I'm just saying.
I'm not today. Okay. So there are 4 main parenting styles, right? You have authoritative, which is clear expectations, definite rules, and supportive, right? Which I think that I am 80% that. No, I would say 70% that.
Okay. I'm not going to say what I want to hear them all, and then I'll jump in on that.
And then you have authoritarian, which is high expectations, disciplined, and unsupportive, right? I would say I'm probably about 10% of that because I have high expectations for my children for sure. And I'm all about discipline. because I feel like, we'll talk about that later, but consequences matter. Then you have permissive. That is low expectations and excessive responsiveness. So this is like that helicopter parent that wants to do everything. So they're enablers, right? Like wants to do everything for the child, will let the child grow up, and doesn't give them responsibility.
Right. They really hurting them.
Yeah. Well,
but go ahead.
Yes.
That's all.
And then you have uninvolved. That's the parents that have no boundaries, little support, more like a friend, less of a parent. So I would say I'm probably a little 10% of that one, because I do want a friendship with my kids, but they still know I'm, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can kick it sometimes.
Yeah, I think I'm the same on that. Like, I definitely value having a friendship with my kids. I always wanted to be just not a parent, if that makes sense, but they looked at me, that's just my fault. I want them to come and talk to me, laugh with me, bring me their issues, and it's all good. So, I mean, that kind of blends in a little bit of a friend area, but I gotta be 85 to 90% father, dad, then friend in my book. Like, I don't know if those percentages are right. That might not be enough for friend, but I want to, you know what I'm saying?
10%.
I want my son to be able to come to me, and we do that. We have fun. He come, we laugh, we go, we do, other stuff. Like, we play basketball and do all that good stuff, but I want him to be comfortable. But there's a difference, because as he gets older,
it's going to change.
That changes, right? And I don't want to lose that portion of it.
These styles and roles will change based on their ages. But right now, we have younger children, I would say, aged. Our son is 10, our daughter is 7. Right. So we're in the thick of parenting. Like, we're in the thick of it. We ain't, although parenting is a job that never ends, it just evolves and changes with responsibilities.
Yeah, no doubt.
So now that we know, so did you decide what your majority parenting style is out of the 4?
I think it's, let me see, I want to say authoritarian.
Really?
You don't think so? You disagree?
Hell no.
Damn.
No, because I have
high expectations for my children.
I feel like I'm the harder parent.
You are.
So then you definitely could not be.
I still have high expectations for them.
You do, but I am more
discipline them.
I'm more authoritative, not authoritarian. An authoritarian is like a dictator. Those are like the super strict parents, don't let you do shit. Those are the ones that raise the children that once they do get out,
so you think you're authoritative?
Out. Yes.
Okay. Well, maybe that's what I'm shooting for.
Because there's no way.
Yeah, I'm not.
You
super
are not.
Strict.
I'm the one.
Strict. I give you that.
I'm the one that I think I'm
you
a
are
lot more strict.
Yeah, hell yeah. Because you be tripping. I'm chill. Like, I don't know. See, that's a whole nother.
Structured.
You are, but there's levels to it. Like you like, yeah, you be lunch. Like what? Like
you have to give these people an example.
I'm trying to think of.
You're making me out.
Don't snatch from me. Look, look, they can't see that.
Right, I just snatch this shit from him. He don't need this.
What I'm saying is, like, some things you can handle with a delicate tone and not hand over fist. Like, sometimes you get mad, and I feel like it didn't have to be and it makes you look like you like rah rah rah, but sometimes you are.
But sometimes I am rah rah rah, but you don't have to be. It.
They do, but some things they don't, and it's not warranted.
Do you know
like
I could say the same thing for you?
Yeah, you probably can. Well, no, like what? We can ask them.
We can.
They would tell you how it is. You've asked them before, and what they say.
Wait, what I asked them?
Who's more strict, or you ask their impression of you and their impression of me.
We never asked them that.
Okay.
No, what we asked them was we did that damn Instagram challenge, and we told them that they could say whatever they want to say without
Yeah,
getting in trouble.
That's a good
And
one.
they could use curse words.
Okay, well,
Do
how that
you
go?
want to report to the people what our kids
I don't
said to
remember.
us?
I kind of remember. I'll let you.
Oh, I
tell it.
remember.
Cause it was probably. Go ahead. Tell me what they said. Refresh my memory.
So Kai said, what did he said,
Oh man.
he called me a bitch.
Woo.
And he called you a bitch ass nigga.
Yeah, he was tripping. I laughed. I thought that shit was funny.
And Cree just said, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you,
But
fuck
see-
you,
but
fuck all
see,
this
I-
shit.
I
That's what
think-
she said. I don't know how you forgot that. I would never forget that.
But this the thing. The way they said it and how it came out, it was more like they was just excited about
Just
cussing.
a curse. Yeah, you just be able to
They
curse.
was
That
just
shit.
saying everything that came to their mind. It wasn't really a description of you. I don't think she was calling you a bitch. He was just
He's
the
one that said that shit.
he just wanted to
Cree
say
didn't.
bitch. He just wanted to say bitch.
You're probably right.
So that wasn't like he was saying you a bitch. He wasn't doing that. He was just, kids, they get at that time, you excited.
This
because-
conversation is going
around your
way
parents.
way left. I was not
Alright, my
even
bad.
thinking about.
Did I steer us in the wrong
Well,
direction?
you just basically said.
I ain't basically
that-
say nothing.
Yes, you did.
No, I did
Yes,
not.
you did. You just basically said that I be tripping, that
You
I
do
be wilding
tripping.
out, and that you don't do that at all.
I ain't say I don't do it at all.
Because I said I
said
could say the same
I
thing
don't
about
do it
you,
as
and you were like,
much.
no.
I don't do it nowhere as near as much as you do. I'm more.
I deem a lot more things important than you do.
Yeah,
Because I
but they
only
not.
do that for
They not important though.
Shit.
They not.
Grades are not important.
See, that's not fair because I'm all about grades. That doesn't count. I'm talking about silly stuff like why you ain't put more Windex on this table. This shit is some bullshit. Look at all these streaks. Like that's crazy. Like
that you are
you would
lying.
be like,
Do you
it's
know-
more like, come on, boo. You gotta put a little bit more Windex
You
and make
are
longer strokes.
lying.
And that's all. That is ask the
I
kids.
have never.
Not I'm
First
just
of all,
giving an example.
I would say first of all that is Cree's responsibility, and I have
See?
never gone on her about streaks being on the table. If anything, I would say that she uses too much Windex
Mhm.
because it looks like somebody just opened the damn thing and poured it on it. I mean, am I?
But I'm just giving an example of
I
how
don't go off on her. Are you serious?
you don't go all, go crazy, but your tone is. I don't know how to articulate that so it don't.
I guess I'm on team with me right now. I'm in here
Your
defending
tone,
myself.
your tone.
I thought we were supposed to be talking
All right,
about
let's talk about
parenting
let's
and the
talk
way
about
that
co-parent.
we
about
parent.
we about to be co-parenting?
No bullshit.
you about to be you about to kick me
Shit,
to
we
the curb,
supposed to
though?
be talking about the way we parent.
All right, go ahead. All right, go get back on top.
I mean,
Handle your show, yo. Handle your show.
God dang.
My bad. Go ahead. All right.
So one of the things I did want to bring up is what we don't do. Some things that we don't do as parents.
What? Right.
So we don't use negative words when we're talking to them.
Right.
So like we don't say you bad. Like we've never called our children bad. And you
Nah.
want to know the funny part is we don't allow anyone else to call them bad. I remember getting into a couple of arguments about don't talk to my child like that.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Do you remember?
No,
I
I
think I checked somebody
Yeah,
because they
you
was
did.
like
You cut. That was a couple people actually.
right when they was like don't be when they said something like don't be bad.
Or they posed it as a question. But
Yeah,
it
like
was,
are you
are
bad?
you being bad right now?
Yeah, like
It's like, nah, they not.
No, like who are you talking to? Like yeah,
Because that sits with them.
it does. I don't speak that into them.
You know, they like, you don't want them to take that on as an identity. I'm bad.
Yeah, because if somebody
You know what I'm
keeps
saying?
telling you that you're bad, it becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy so that when you do something that you do break a rule, right?
Like,
that
well, I'm
is
bad, so
right. You'll just say, "Oh, I'm already bad," so that makes sense.
right.
You know,
Right.
like if you like you see parents talking down to their children, those children are not, motivated to do their best.
Right.
So I will say that I have been calling Kai, you know, I don't know, do you remember this? Or because I don't do it anymore because we already know he doesn't want to be a doctor, but I used to call him Dr. Thompson.
That was a while ago.
I know, because now we know he doesn't want to be a doctor, but before he knew or had an idea of what even a career was, you know, I was calling him Dr. Thompson, and I would call Cree Your Honor.
Because you thought she would be a lawyer.
Well, I was just trying to speak positive things into them. You know what I'm saying? And give them, you know, high goals to make it realistic for them. Because, you know, some children grow up not thinking that they could ever be that. And I don't want them to put that limitation on them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
I wanted to pick something higher that I felt like they could do. But looking at our kids and the way that they're developing, you know, Makai, he wants to be an architect. Like, he's leaning toward that. And Cree is leaning toward a damn evangelist you have her own church or something one day. You know? Either that or she's going to be on somebody's stage.
She's going to be on somebody's stage.
Performing.
No matter in what aspect it is.
You're right. Whether it's a church stage,
dancing,
or dance, or singing, it's gonna be on somebody's stage.
Yeah, she's a trip.
Right. So, but before we knew any of that, I would call them those things.
Right.
To, you know, set that high expectation. What else is something that we don't do?
I don't know. What don't we do?
We don't.
I need somebody.
We don't beat them a lot.
Nah, that we don't do.
We don't.
And that's kind of funny because I used to get my ass whooped. I was bad when I was young.
Look, we talking about we don't call our kids bad, but you just called yourself bad.
Because my parents called me bad.
Oh,
see how I go? See? Oh, we had a break. See, that's why we don't call them bad. You see what they did to me? That shit is coming full. Well, I'm breaking the circle. We're not doing that.
Right, you breaking that generational cycle.
I was different.
You was different.
I did a lot.
You was rambunctious. You was off the chain. I do say off the chain.
I was off the chain.
I might say off the chain.
I was off
I don't
the chain.
say bad, but I do say, you know, you're a little off the chain.
You need trouble like every other week. Every week. I tried to water it down, but every week I was getting detention or some pinks. Remember the pink slips?
I do remember pink. See, they don't know our story, but we went to elementary school together. So they don't know our story.
Oh, right.
So we have to tell our story one day, but we went to elementary school together. So if you hear us asking, do you remember when we was younger? That's why.
Yo, them pink slips. I got so many of them Jones.
I don't think.
You ain't getting any?
I don't think I got any.
So let me ask you this.
Have been in trouble,
I got in trouble all the time, but I'm not as authoritative as you are, and you never got in trouble. Why do you think that is? You think
because I know how important it is to follow rules. I had no problem with following the rules.
So since I was breaking the rules, I don't see why it's a problem. Since I was breaking the rules, I'm not.
Yeah, you're more laxed on it.
I turned out just fine.
I turned out just fucking fine.
Why are you cussing right now? I didn't even say anything about you not being fine.
You are fine. You are jabbing.
I didn't say anything about you.
You are popping shot. Pop.
Wait a minute. I didn't say anything about you. See, that was you projecting. Right? I didn't say anything about you.
I can't wait till we roll the tape back.
Roll the tape.
We're gonna roll it back because you are really popping shots today.
I ain't even. I was talking about me. Why are you trying to make this about you?
Okay. So wait, what were we just talking about? See, now I lost my whole train of thought. What were we just talking about? What we don't do? Oh, we don't beat them. So I may have given them a spanking. I could probably count on one hand with both kids together.
And you know the funny thing about that, when I think about it, I'm not against giving.
I'm not against spanking,
but either. I just don't like. Well, I think it's more me afraid of me not, I want to spank my kids, but I don't want to spank them too hard. I don't want to hurt them.
You're afraid of you're afraid of your strength.
I'm afraid that I'm gonna hurt them, especially if I'm doing it in anger or something like that. So I don't go there because that's a fear of mine, right? Like I don't want to hurt my baby, so I want them to get, and then I also want them to learn the lesson. At the end of the day, you're trying to discipline your child so that they learn what you're trying to teach them, what you're trying to get across, so that they can learn from it, not do again, take something from it. And I feel like if I always lead with a spanking, all that gets lost in translation.
Let me tell you something. My oldest sister, the oldest one, she used to get spankings all the time. And she would tell you today that if you asked her, do you want a spanking or do you want to get punished? She would say a spanking, because I can get that shit done and over with and get back to it. Whatever the hell she was doing.
Right.
But a punishment lasts longer, and forces you to reevaluate some stuff.
Right.
So, needless to say, we don't really spank a lot. I mean, like my son is 10. I don't know how many times I spanked him. Maybe twice.
I can count. Right. I'm about to say it's been one.
Maybe twice out of 10 years. In Cree, I think she's gotten one spanking from me.
And then another thing is, our kids don't require.
They're not
spanking.
Yeah, they don't do egregious things.
But not only that, but you could just look at them funny and they get to crying. Like they're so sensitive.
You're right.
Like
you're right. If I raise my voice,
they're like,
oh shit, I'm in big trouble.
It's like you don't need the spanking to get that idea across that you fucked up. Like you need to pipe down and think about what you did. So if it's not necessary, like I feel like you bring that in when you feel like it's not necessary, not for punishment per se. It's when you're trying to drive the idea of what's going on home, I feel like. But if that's already being accomplished, then why follow it up with corporate punishment?
Right. You don't need to do all that.
You don't need to do all that.
Right. You don't need to do all that. I mean, not with our kids. You don't need to do all that. Now, that's not
every kid.
I'm just saying that's not the same thing for every
right now,
child.
we're fortunate enough that's our kids, where I don't have to spank my son or my daughter for them to get it. They're already crying. They're already upset. They're already emotional.
Yeah, they don't like to disappoint us. I will say that.
Right. So that's already there.
Yeah.
So the point of a spanking is not necessary. Right. So I haven't had.
I'm not against spanking.
I'm not against it. Just haven't had to do it. So. And I don't trip off nothing. You
haven't spanked them at all? Yes, you have.
Once.
Once. Cree, no.
No, I jacked up Kai. I didn't spank him.
I would say, Cree, you have not spanked at all.
Jacked up. Is that any better? Like I think about it. Jacked him, but he was lunching that day.
Well, I was going to bring that up, right? That we respect each other's roles. Right. So, like you as the man teaching our son to be a man, I understand that's something that I cannot do. And that's not something that I'm going to attempt to do. So if you are disciplining him, what do I always do?
Don't step away or
I walk away. I walk away because I am a mom and everything in me is like trying to nurture him, trying to protect him, right? That mama bear. And I know that if I sit and watch, it's going to come out. I'm not going to be able to control Mama Bear. So I got to walk away. And so that's what I do. When it's time for you to discipline our son, I walk away because I know I can't handle it.
Right.
And you do the same when it comes to Cree.
Right, because I'm soft on Cree.
Oh,
I'm definitely soft on my daughter.
It's
my baby girl, though. And that's the funny thing because, most fathers always ask for a son, right? And what I used to always say.
Yeah, you wanted a girl first.
I always had the idea. I always was.
You wanted daddy's
little girl.
Yeah.
That was always in my wish list. And then I got a son. Now I'm like, oh, I got my man and everything. But then I got a daughter, so it's all good. God was looking out.
Yeah, I wanted 2 boys.
You wanted 2 boys.
I wanted 2 boys. You wanted a girl.
That's because you so authoritative. You wanted to see.
I just wanted to go to their body if I needed to go to their body. I can't go to Creed's body.
See,
I can't be like,
you gotta go to their body. That's
but I haven't had to do that, so such is life. Whatever, it's all good. It's a win-win.
The words telling the truth, right there. Girl.
I mean, listen, I didn't say that I'm not. I know that, but you just.
But you act like I was.
You just called me crazy.
Like I was like,
you told me. You.
I was
we
telling
gonna
the
roll it. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. So,
go ahead.
But I feel like you respect the female part, right? Because there's things that a female will do that I will pick up on that you won't pick up on as a male.
Right.
Like a little subtle eye roll. I know what that shit turns into.
But I see that. I know what that mean, though. But
I don't do nothing about it.
Because you already on it. You
let that shit slide. You be like, oh.
No, I don't. What? No, I don't. You already on it. I don't have to. By that time, you already.
I'm not around all the. Y'all.
You just said.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to do podcasts with him if you gonna keep lying.
That's not a lie.
Wait,
what did I lie about? What else?
I'm not around all the time.
That's true.
So when she rolls her eyes and I'm not there to see it, what do you do?
I tell her, but she don't roll her eyes.
Lies, you.
But if she did, I would say, but how you gonna say that's a lie and you ain't there?
Because
you just said it.
Because I know my child. You know why?
No.
Because she is me and I am her.
I ain't saying that she don't do it. How you know I don't discipline her?
I'm asking. I just asked you. I said, what do you do?
If I see it, I discipline her.
You do not discipline.
I do.
I
absolutely
not for
do.
An eye roll.
Man, what? I check all body language. No, that's the truth. Kai has when he's certain way. In that, why you looking like that?
I about to say
Creed too. I just did that today. I said you got an attitude.
With who?
Creed, when she was at the table, and she didn't want to eat, and she was acting all crazy. No, I checked that too.
No, what you said was, I don't know what's going on with you and your attitudes lately. That's
I ain't say like, why you got me sounding like a bitch? I ain't say that shit.
Did you sound like a bitch?
What did you just say? Say it again. I ain't even gonna repeat that shit you just said. That shit was not accurate.
I don't remember.
I ain't say it like that. I can tell you that.
You have a little more bass in your voice.
Hell yeah.
Oh my God.
Yo. Hey yo, we about to cut the tape. Fucking shrimp.
See, but I remember one time we were in the kitchen and Kai did something to me. He didn't do anything, but it was a gesture or something. It was very subtle that he did. And I saw it, but I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I can't remember what it was. It was like he poked out his chest. It was just a gesture of aggression. And you went clean off. I mean, I didn't even understand it. See, I'm not going to say that you are crazy. I just am going to say that was some man shit that I didn't understand. But I trust you.
Right.
So when I saw you doing that, I was just like, oh shit. He must have did something that I just didn't understand it.
All right.
But I get that you don't want him to be aggressive toward me at all. And I think that's where you were just like,
he should be protective of his mother and his sister in my eyes. I don't know. It's just how I move. I don't like the aggression towards women in general. I feel like that's weird to me. I mean, I get it. Nowadays, women be tripping, smacking and punching it. That's a whole nother story. But in general, you
have to remove yourself from
situations right. But as far as your mother and your sister, you should be protective. I need him to protect you when I'm not around. I need to trust that he has, and when he's acting like that, that's soft. That's something in that I need to try to address. He shouldn't be emotional about that. Whatever that is, he needs to handle that a different way. And I'm working with him on that. I don't know And I don't even think my father like kind of did that with me. I don't know how that came about, but that's just my idea of how he should be, I guess.
You want to know what's funny? When you just said your father, I was thinking about what was my father like with discipline, what you're like with Cree. And my father was aggressive toward me. So my mother was aggressive when it came to discipline, and so was my father. So I didn't get like a soft approach. So maybe that's why I'm so like
my father was aggressive.
Rah when it comes to that.
My father was the one who yelled and gave me
my father would yell. I mean, I feel like when he yelled, the whole fucking house shook. I feel like it was like a
what?
It was like a rumble.
You know, like, so let me ask you this: when you get spankings? Did you get spankings?
My father spanked me one time. My mother was the one that would
so
throw
when
them
you
hands.
got a spanking, were you like? I just thought about this. When you got a spanking, was it like you about to get a spanking, go in your room, you about to get spanking, or was it you was talking and then you just start getting a whooping in the middle of
I got a
conversation?
spanking one time, and I can tell you exactly what the fuck happened because it was
you only got one spanking
from my father, but my mother, you know how my mother is.
Oh yeah,
my mother, she would throw them hands. She would, she would pick up whatever the fuck is next to her. She would grab my head.
So like, you would get that in the middle of her yelling at you and going off.
Yeah. See, it wasn't
my whole thing was a whole stage process. It was a whole like
it was torture.
They would mentally fuck with me like you about to get a whipping. Go in your room, and I would be in there for 30 to 45 minutes waiting on this ass whipping, and you know what that does to you emotionally. Like I would rather them just beat my ass off break. But I got to sit in there and think about this shit that's about to pop off. So I'm in there like you know, you ever saw a prison movie where they put the phone books on this shit? I was in the bathroom putting on layers of long johns and shit to try to absorb this belt that's about to be on my back and shit. Like that's the mind frame. Like I'm about to go to war. Like this nigga gonna be trying to whip me, and I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get past this shit.
I'm sorry.
That's how that shit used to be.
I didn't mind just
my
popped
mother
off
was with
right
me.
instantly.
She would say, your father gonna do it. And then he wouldn't even be home or he be in his room. I guess now that I'm a parent, I know they were in there talking about this.
Yeah, trying to figure out
how they were going to do this. But they had already made the announcement that I was getting the ass whipping.
So they had to follow
they forgot, like, discuss that shit, then make the announcement. Their order of operations was fucked up. They were supposed to tell me that after they decided they can't be doing that shit. We got to talk about that shit. Like that, bro.
All right, the next time we go over there, you gonna talk about it.
It was crazy.
I will say that is something that we do. We do not interject. So even though he said earlier, y'all, that I'm off the chain, or no, what you just say? I'm off the chain. You said I'm crazy.
I didn't say that.
You said, what you call me? You called me something.
Off the chain? I said I was off the chain when I was young.
No, when you said me as a parent.
You said wonderful parent.
No, you said I be tripping. You said I be tripping.
You do.
And
sometimes.
So even though, what we don't do is we don't interject when the other one is parenting. Right. Now later on in private, we might talk about it and say, hey, I think you went a little, like, I don't think that was really necessary. And, we're always open to that feedback too. Like, I don't never say to you, like, no, fuck that shit. I should have did that. I'm cool with that. Like, I've never responded like that. I'll just respond and say, all right, next time I'll take a few extra minutes to not, fly off the handle or not respond that way or whatever the case may be. Even, we will so we have interjected when we're in the process of parenting, but we do it in a very subtle way where I'll touch your arm.
Yeah.
Because I think one time we was in the car and I was going off, right? And you touched my knee.
Like, come on.
Yeah. Like it was
bad.
Right. It was something that would notify us, but not the kids. So the kids always see us as a united front.
Right. I feel like we kind of check each other when we start to go off the handle.
Yeah, we create we
like we was like, all right, yeah, come on,
yeah,
pull it back, because you can see the kids like you, like if we yelling or I might be going off, and you can see that they're starting to run down, like it's too much, like they need a break.
Yeah,
and it's like, all right, yeah. And then when you get that,
have we ever gone off together at the same time toward them?
Not really. Nah,
it's always just usually one, and the other one's just kind of like observing, trying to manage the situation, or
say something here and there, but nobody. It's never us just both going in.
Yeah,
that's never happened.
We don't tag team. Like we don't tag team
that doesn't happen at all.
But speaking of the united front, so like it's important that parents have a united front, because when you don't, kids do what is called splitting, right? And splitting is absolutely natural. It's absolutely normal. It's just them trying to get what they want. So splitting, example of that would be, Daddy, can I have some ice cream? And you say, no. And then they say, Mommy, can I have some ice cream? Because they trying to get me to say yes.
Right.
But what we do is we're usually on the same page with stuff. But if we're not, I always say, well, what'd your father say?
Right.
And then they say, well, he said this. And I say, okay, well, then that's what it is. Right. Even if I don't agree.
Whoever they ask first, that's usually the answer.
Yeah.
So, like, I'll be like, what your mama say? And they say, I'll be like, all right, well, there you go. Like, why you asking me? Because
like, it ain't going to change.
You're looking for some leverage, and I ain't it.
Yeah, but you know, kids do that. That's just their way of trying to get their way.
I get it.
One thing that I think that helps our kids is the united front, and teaching them to receive the word no.
Yeah, that was a process.
That was a turning point for us.
That was a process. I remember that.
Yeah, because like when they were younger and they were all like sweet and innocent, and we would never say no. Like they were spoiled rotten. No. And then when like, I don't remember what it was, but we told Kai no one day.
It was a wake-up call. He was lunching. He didn't know what to do with himself.
Boy, like had a full-blown temper tantrum. You know, like them kids that have temper tantrums in the store. Right. We were in the store. We was at home. But we both looked at each other.
Like, oh, hell no, this ain't a thing. We had to nip it in. We literally said, oh, no, we got to change this.
Right. Like,
this is too
at
much.
this
He's
point,
tripping.
we was like, oh, yeah, no. You really need to learn how to receive the word no. Because rejection is a part of life.
Yeah, he was lunching that day.
And adults still have temper tantrums when you tell them no. It just looks a little different. They don't fall on the floor, but they start hooping and hollering. Right. And that's all it is a regular temper tantrum that a 5-year-old would have.
Yeah.
So that was a turning point for us. Right. We was like, oh, hell nah. When I say no, you should be cool with that. You should be like, all right,
like you said, though, I think that's also a life lesson that he needs to learn. As he gets older, he needs to be able to handle any kind of disappointment and keep it moving, because that's a point of a pivotal point of what might dictate a success or failure. Like, he needs to know, okay, that didn't work out or whatever. They told me no, but I'm gonna try this, and then that is a success. But if he lets that run him down, or he can't
function,
he can't get himself together.
Shit.
Oh, I'm terrible. Or he beating himself up about it. Or it can manifest into all types of shit that I don't want to. I just need him to have that tough skin to be like, all right, well, oh well, that is what it is, and keep it moving.
Yeah.
And him at that point, if he learns that now, by the time he gets to that point, he'll be well equipped to handle that. But if I keep enabling that and feeding into that, it makes it worse for him. I think of every lesson that I learned as I go through my parenting experience, all I'm doing is figuring out ways to make him a better adult.
Yeah,
that's my mission.
I do.
That's why I can take criticism from you, because I'm not a perfect parent. You know, I'm just learning. My oldest is 10, so I got a lot of shit to learn because he got to go through teenage years. So I'm not going to get it right. I know it. So I need feedback. I need somebody to be like, yo, you need to do that a little different. Okay, cool. I'm going to try something different. But whatever gets him to where he needs to be, that's what I got to do. That's what I'm doing.
Agree. For him and Cree. And it's like, we tell them no now. And when they act a fool, they don't really act a fool, but if they like even give a little bit of attitude from it, we be like, what's that?
Right.
Like now it's a hard no from now until I say, like now,
right.
Now you have made it worse for yourself. Just,
And it's crazy because Cree's she handles stuff so different. Like she's so old and young at the same time. You know what I mean? Like she's such an adult about some things, which sounds funny because she's only 7, and then there's other things she's so emotional, and it's like, I think it's just different things are important to her.
Yeah.
And she holds
like her process.
Yeah.
Do not interrupt her process. No.
She has to finish.
She got a process. And if you interrupt that process.
Right. If you like, let's go. And she's cleaning her room in the middle of that. Like, she has to finish.
Yeah, she has to finish.
And if she doesn't, she loses
her
whole day is
right. She's like
fucked up. She's like, oh.
It's like all she can think about is going back and cleaning that room.
Yeah, she
cannot focus on anything else. I mean, it was just we just went through that tonight, and but I'm trying to slowly but surely get her to come out of that because she has to learn to be flexible. Mm-hmm. You're not going to always be able to finish your process. So this is the things that we're talking about, guys. So like when you're parenting and you notice something about your child and you see that it could be detrimental to them as an adult, that's when you start to kind of slowly work on that as a child.
Right.
So that it'll evolve. By the time they do become an adult, she'll be super flexible with things.
Right.
By the time Kai becomes an adult, he'll be good with managing his anger better because he got a little temper on him.
But he's much better. He's getting better.
He's better than when he was 8.
But
right, but
I think that's part of the process too, because learning how to deal with emotion properly. Because we know when he first, he lost it.
Yeah, he was losing.
You know what I'm talking about.
Well,
he was like,
I forgot about that.
When at one time he had a meltdown. But at that age, I don't forget how old he was, but he didn't know how to process his emotions.
He lost a game.
Y'all
were
game.
Playing a game.
And
I don't even remember.
I was playing, messing around, and he thought I cheated.
Oh, yes,
and this Bama started laughing and crying at the same time and yelling, all 3 at one time. He was like, how like the Joker, like he was laughing but crying. Like it was weird. Like, yo. But you could tell he was having
but you jacked him up in that moment. And that was a different time.
That was the first time I jacked him up. That was the first time because
she told me to get his shit together.
We weren't even at home. We was like out.
Yeah, we were out.
And like everybody was looking, but I forgot that I was around other people because the minute he did that, I immediately had to check him. Like that joint was crazy.
Yeah.
He was not only did he lose it, but he was standing on the table.
I know.
He wasn't on the floor, people. He was on the table screaming, laughing, and yelling at me.
Because he thought you cheated.
Because they thought I was cheating. But we was all laughing and playing at first until we realized this dude was lunching.
Yeah, it turned
and everybody was
anger.
looking, and then I just reacted, and the rest is history.
Yeah. So that happens, and then we learn, and then we do better, right? As parents and as children. One other thing I want to mention is that adversity builds self-esteem in children. So when they face a challenge and they're able to solve it on their own, not have their parent intervene and do it for them, but have them solve it on their own. Once they get it, that tells them, I can do it.
Right.
It's not just us telling them. Right. Yeah, I know.
Like the more
adversity is what builds self-esteem
and character.
And so when you see your child struggling through something, do everything to not fix it for them. Don't fix their problems for them. Talk it through with them, give them hints, encourage them, but do not do it for them, because you will fuck them up as an adult. Like it's not going to be a good look.
There's a lot of adults out there like that
do not know how to handle challenges, and they shut down, or they lose their shit.
Right. They just don't know how to figure stuff out.
They don't, and I'm telling you, adversity builds or they have no self-esteem.
Right.
So they have no standards, and they're just willing to take whatever.
Right.
Because that's what they feel like they deserve. Okay, so consequences. First off, I want everybody to know there are positive consequences and there are negative consequences. So when you are disciplining your child, when you say consequences, they should not automatically assume negative, like punishment. Because there are some positive ones too. So if you have positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement, right? So that the positive reinforcement is the positive consequences. The negative reinforcement is the negative consequences. So for example, you come home, you bring home straight A's, you're going to get some positive consequences, right? You come home, you bring home some D's and F's, you're going to get some negative consequences.
Right.
So what it does is it supports the behavior that you want to see more of, and it decreases the behavior that you don't want to see.
It also enforces the positives. So like, when you follow up with positive outcomes for positive behavior, you're more prone to do that, right? Like, just like winning. You win something, you want to keep doing it.
Yeah, you want to keep winning.
There's a good feeling behind positivity. It's a bad feeling behind negativity. So the more positive, you always going to strive for the positive outcome, right? So it just helps promote more positive behavior, more acceptable behavior.
Yeah, but they're necessary. Because without them, right? If we don't implement consequences within the home, then life will implement consequences, and those consequences fucking suck. You go out here and break the law, you go into jail, But I mean, I don't want them to learn those life consequences. I'd rather them learn them in-house than have a judge or, an employer, right, to teach them those consequences.
Yeah, and it's a struggle to do consequences, because in the beginning, well, I know for me, it was hard for me to lay down consequences for my kids when they did something bad, because you don't want to see, like, I wanted to see my kids, I always want to see them happy. I don't want to see them cry. I don't want none of that. So when I have to enforce a negative consequence, it hurts me too.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good.
It doesn't feel good to make them feel some type of way about something they did. Yeah. It's a negative feeling, but it's necessary.
Yeah.
Because, like Angel already said, if I don't instill them into them now, later on,
the street they're
going to get taught in a different type of way, which I don't want them to do or experience. So it's up to me to prepare them for this so that they can handle it with grace and care and get the positive outcome or avoid a negative outcome when it's unnecessary. So yeah, that's just my whole thought on that.
Yeah, that consequences are necessary for sure, so that we can teach them right from wrong and not let the streets teach them.
Right.
It's basically what it boils down to.
Pretty much.
And it does suck. But I do want to mention that sometimes these negative consequences will impact you as a parent, and it's going to suck for you too sometimes. So yes, that means sometimes when you put your child on punishment, guess what? You want punishment too.
How is that?
Because if they like if they aren't allowed to watch TV and y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like if we're in the kitchen or something and we want to watch TV, we can't watch TV.
And then you mad at them. You looking at them like, man, you fucking up.
Right, like, fuck, I can't even watch the damn show right now. Right. You know, or if they're punished, if they're punished and they can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because, you know, when they get older, they're going to, you know, we have to start punishing them from things like that, like being able to go and do things. Then that means we can't go. You know, if that was like a time for us to like maybe have like date night because they were going to go over somebody's house.
Oh, yeah.
And now you can't go over somebody's house because you unfucked up.
Right.
So guess what? We're all in the house now.
We all sitting down.
Right, now we all in the house. You know, so sometimes
that's true.
It impacts you as the parent, but you gotta be prepared for that shit. It is what it is. It's worth it, y'all. It's worth it. Take the L. It's worth it.
Yeah, no doubt.
The last thing that I just want to make sure everybody knows that's important is to spend time with your children as people. Right. Get to know them. Like, you know, cooking for them, cleaning, you know, all the necessities are important, right? But that emotional, just family time, you learn so much about your child and who they are as an individual.
And who they're growing up to be.
Yeah. So you see their weaknesses, you see their strengths, right? Like just spending that time together. So we do a lot of things together. We do fun activities together. We go to the movies together. We pray together. We used to have, now we've been slipping on this, but we used to have a no technology day once a week where we would pull out an old school board game, no TV, no Xbox, no tablets, no iPads, no phones. Well, we don't have phones we don't have phones at the table. We don't do no phones, no tablets, none of that shit at the table. We have to have a conversation, or if we're watching something together. But even when we watch something together, we talk about it. We talk about like what they understand, what do they see, you know, that kind of stuff. But we used to have a no technology day. We need to get back to that. We do need to get back to that because the kids really enjoyed it. They look forward to it. And we learned like our kids were sore losers.
Yeah, you find out, like you said, you find out that they wanted to win at all costs.
And that was insane.
And Kyle has learned it. Cree still learning it.
Yeah,
but he was the same way at her age. Like they don't know how to lose.
Yeah.
They take it as they're defeated. But they don't know is you're not defeated.
It's a game.
It's a game. You just come back stronger. You learn from it and you do better. But they don't understand that. They just like, oh, I lost. Oh.
But again,
and it's like
us doing that gives us the opportunity to address them that.
And you get to see that. But like I said, when you spend that, well, I don't know if I said that, but when you spend that time with your kids, it shows you the holes that need to be plugged or the things you might need to address, but it also shows you the brilliance of your child.
Yeah.
And you know, it's your child, so you're going to fall in love with your child even more if that's even possible, but you see so much more of them, and then you can nurture that, you can cater to that, you can cling to that, and then also their weaknesses, you can make moves to change that or to address that subtly or however you see fit, right?
Yeah.
So that's the advantages of time.
That's another thing. I'm honest with them. We are honest with them. If they ask a question, then that means I have to give them the real answer. Now, I am age appropriate, you know, but if they ask, the one thing that you will never hear us say is, I'm not talking to you about that. Or I will respond in an age appropriate way if I feel like they can't handle the whole truth. But I am all about honesty and full transparency. 100%. Because if I don't teach them, who the hell will?
And you know what? You know, I know this from being a parent. I'm honest with my child. Like, I know other parents that don't want to tell their kids certain things and they're trying to shit. And I get that. But let's be clear, especially when your kids get to like
8, 9, especially nowadays, everything you're trying to shield them from, they've already been exposed to.
Right. So, that's why I said if they ask about it.
You don't want to talk about it because it makes you uncomfortable. You need to get past that.
Yeah, you need to get over that
because they are talking about it with other kids.
Yeah.
So if you don't put your 2 cents on it that makes logical sense and that has some type of context to what they're talking about, because they just getting snippets of it. So you don't want them to form the wrong opinions or the wrong ideas.
Right, or the wrong ideals that don't align with your family.
Right. So you have to be part of these conversations. So you need to put yourself in it. You need to tell them what they asking.
Yeah, like
tell the truth. Talk about it. You ain't got to be crazy with it. But you don't have to be
year.
Right. But you don't have to be detailed, but you can give them an idea on the surface at a high level. You can address some of these things.
And you can address it the way you want. Because I think when he asked, because first of all, he was 9. He heard something at school. Somebody said something at school. And, he asked about it. Mm-hmm. And I think, what did we tell him? We said it's for married people only.
Yeah.
We said it's something for married people. And it's something that you do when you're ready to have a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, and it's, and that was that. And I said, when you get older, we'll talk more about it. But
right.
I never just say, we're not talking about that.
Right.
Even if it does make me uncomfortable. Like when he asked about homosexuality.
We was trying to avoid that shit.
I was absolutely not ready to have that conversation because I was not sure what I wanted to say.
And it wasn't
what I wanted him to know.
We weren't.
I wasn't ready.
And the thing was, it wasn't like we was like anti or anything. It's just like at this age.
What do you say?
We just didn't want. I wanted him to just
form his own idea.
Form his own idea. Be a child.
Yeah.
Like right now, at this age, sexuality and all that shouldn't be a fucking conversation. I'm sorry. I don't think we should be talking to that extent.
Right.
Right. Like
still just enjoy being a child.
The fact that
now.
They have it in. They have that in Disney and all that. That's too much. It doesn't have to be that. It just needs to be.
Being a child.
Just be a child.
You don't have to worry about sex at all.
But like you said, he asked.
Yes.
So we
told him.
And then that was that. But I don't want.
But I was not gonna,
duck it.
I wasn't gonna duck it because I said I just wasn't ready. Yeah. I wasn't ready to have that conversation, but we did. And one thing that we do make a point to do is have the conversation together, and I think that is easier because we are married.
Right.
That's kind of where, if you're co-parenting in separate households, that's kind of something that you might have to call one parent on the phone.
Going back to what I said earlier.
I said co-parenting
marriage. You see
the
difference?
Co-parenting in the same household, co-parenting in separate households.
No. You didn't say that originally. We can listen to the tape.
No, I just said it's all co-parenting though.
It's not the same.
Okay. All right.
Why you so dead on it being the same? It's separate.
Okay. We can agree to disagree. I'm fine with that. My last thing that I do want to bring up, and I don't want to talk your guys' ears off because I feel like it's almost been an hour. When we disagree on anything relating parenting, whether we should do something with Cree, whether we should do something with Kai, I am submissive. And that's where my submissiveness comes in. And I let you have the final say.
And I'm lying.
That's not true?
Whew, that's
when
not
have
true,
we ever disagreed on a parenting
I
topic
don't know,
or
but
something?
I know that ain't true.
And I'm like, no, my way is the right way.
You don't do that, but it ain't as smooth selling. Like, oh, you got it, boo. Hell no.
I mean, we talk about it. We talk about it.
We definitely talk about it. That's true.
But
But don't make it all smooth. It ain't that smooth. Billy D.
I am submissive.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not submissive.
Very submissive when it's convenient.
Oh.
Yeah, everybody want to say they submissive until Submissive is doing the hard shit with, look, no, you ain't doing that. And you be like, okay. Y'all don't do that. You don't do that.
I say okay.
No, you don't.
I mean, I'd be like, can we talk about it?
No, that's not submissive. We not talking about it.
Why can't we talk about it?
Some things you just need to be submissive.
You know what? That's going to be our
We need
next.
to look up that.
That is going to be our next podcast topic.
Nah, we might be co-parenting.
Is being submissive.
That's a whole nother show. You right. Go ahead.
Because I do feel like I let you like make the final decision when we don't agree on something. It's rare. Because usually, you know, we'll come to some type of compromise or agreement.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just gonna drink your water. You're not.
I was getting parched.
You're not feeling it. Okay. All right. Well, I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys can take some of these jewels and apply them in your life.
Right.
With your parenting. Oh, one other thing we did do, we waited till we were ready for parenthood.
We did.
We waited until we were ready. And we actually like our kids.
Yeah, we do like our kids.
Like, we think that they're funny. We have fun together. We play together. That's important. Learn to like your kids, like as a person, because they are people. And ain't nothing worse than when the mother or father is walking around and they really just don't like their child.
Right, you cussing at the kid under your breath.
Right, like, right, you know, like I think it makes it easier to parent when you actually like your child and not like them based on their parent, but like them for who they are as an individual.
Right.
I think that's important. All right, guys, that's it. We're done. Until next time. Oh, wait, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie to you. Parenting is hard. It's hard. It's a journey. Mm-hmm. It's a journey. And not only are we teaching them, but I'm learning as well. Like, my kids forced me to grow up and forced me to mature in a lot of areas that I wasn't even aware of.
Right.
Your turn.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to just kind of piggyback and say, I'm not going to lie to you. Parenting is like a living document.
Ooh.
It's something you always add into. It never stops, right? You always learning. You always add into your list.
I love that. Parenting is a living document.
It is, man. It's a
lifelong process.
A lifelong process. You always,
is.
Like, it never stops. So
it never stops.
You always learn it. But the thing is,
even when they're adults, it never stops.
And I tell people all the time, like, I love being a parent. I love this adventure right now. Like, I know there's gonna be some hard times. I just pray that I can get through them with grace and that I lead my children in the right direction. But so far, everything's good. I mean, I'm really enjoying it. Like I said, I'm trying my best so if you do this now, when they're young, they get older, they're more equipped for things and like trials and tribulations and all that. They're more equipped. So
they're going to go through it.
The work you do now with your child dictates what you will deal later with them as far as their decisions as an adult.
Yeah.
So
like, I have family members. They're like in their 60s, right? And they still call their mother or father and ask them for advice.
Yeah, I want to be that parent.
Me too. Like when I was right. Like, I mean, like I would love for my kids to still value my opinion when they're older.
My kids to visit me. Fuck that. I want them to still see me.
Right.
I don't want to be seeing my parents. Especially, I mean, of course, if they're not in the same state or city. That's different.
Kai said he not leaving.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, there's people that don't see their parents for years. I can't. Right now, I can't fathom that. I can't even.
I mean, unless you're like out of the country, unless there's like extenuated circumstances
that's what I'm saying.
where
Not,
you can't.
not those type. I'm talking about y'all in the same state. Y'all like an hour away.
Yeah, we don't want to be those parents.
I don't want my kids to be like, man, I ain't going to see that nigga.
Right, he gonna
get on my nerves.
Right,
I don't want that.
Like
you know what I'm saying? I definitely don't want that. Shit, I might need them niggas to take care of me. Shit, I might be.
Well, you are. We are.
So you know,
Cree's a nurturer. She gonna take care of
it.
Oh yeah. And Kai's gonna plan it, and Cree is gonna.
Cree gonna execute.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
All right, guys. Until next time. Thanks for listening to I'm Not Gonna Lie to You podcast. Subscribe for more insightful and down-to-earth content. And don't forget to follow us on social media at An Angel's Touch 8 on Instagram and An Angel's Touch Therapy on Facebook.